Coming out, everybody, and I'm looking back there, and there's someone who I want to recognize, and that's Judy. I didn't know this was happening, but you received an award over at Animal Services for your volunteer efforts on behalf of animals last Saturday. Judy Crumpton, could you stand up, Judy? Public safety wise, what's going on? Sad event last night about, 7:40, there was a bicyclist killed over at the Traffic Circle. So, yeah, significant tragedy, sad to report. And I don't really know who's at fault there, other than, at this point, it's just a tragedy for all. So that is a very sad event. Other than that, public safety-wise, there really isn't much to report. No recurring crimes, no spike in any one type of crime. So that's a good thing. We're safe, and our police department's doing a good job, especially in this time of tight budgets. I think, if I could say that, I think the council's done a good job of making cuts where they can, and making sure that when you want a cop or you need a cop at your door within 3 minutes, they're still there. So that's a good thing. Another thing that happened last night that I've been kind of pushing is we've decided to purchase some new helicopters, actually some used helicopters from the sheriffs, because the helicopters that we currently have are basically a business helicopter, too expensive to buy. I mean, they were bought with some asset forfeiture money. They weren't bought with tax dollars, but money we get when we take things from drug dealers. But they're just, there's your incentive. But they cost way too much money to operate per hour, and they could only be up in the sky a limited number of hours. So the new birds we're purchasing from the Sheriff's Department, we know, our guys have seen them in operation, and they'll be much cheaper per hour to operate. Probably, I imagine, even half or a third of what the current helicopters cost to operate. There was only one other police department in the nation that had the type of helicopter we had, the ones you see flying around now. For structure, sidewalk repair is going to start. If you have some sidewalks in front or around your house that needs to be addressed, let me know. To the Weldons, they came over and didn't knock my door, but in front of my house a couple Saturdays ago to let me know that a tree had fallen over on the Snowden. And I think I was the first guy there. I beat the police department, I beat Public Works. So I went over there and got them out there, and we got that cut up and moved off the street. And an old tree, I guess it just rotted out at the bottom. So thanks for letting me know. All right, that was great. Ruined my Saturday. You got a situation taken care of. I threw the kids in the car, the wife, and on the way to the beach. Honestly, the kids loved it. They got to see a tree, in the middle of the street, over a car. Saw their friends. They were happy as can be. So it might be funny to you, but that's how the O'Donnells live. I call it a double header. You can take the kids on some council business. So, went up to Sacramento last Monday to plead the city's case. Very interesting trip, I'll have to say. More than ever, I think our legislature is resolute in passing a budget that is legitimate and transparent. They absolutely plan on cutting $12.5 billion this year. They're going to do it. They're very honest and forthright about that, which is a good thing, because in the long run, we're all going to benefit. But that means less money for the city, be it redevelopment or some other funding sources. So I went to plead the city's case. They need to be educated on what this means to cities. Whether or not they do it, we'll see. But I don't see any other solution besides cuts. We need to be realistic. The pain needs to be shared. It's shared sacrifice, really. So we'll see how this all filters out. But I'm making sure where I can that the city's dollars are preserved as best they can. So, interesting trip. Someone said, hey, how'd you get along with Governor Brown? Well, we didn't meet with Governor Brown. But, Governor Brown doesn't sound like a real left Democrat these days, does he? He's got an accent. What else is happening? This is a big deal, too, and we talked about it here, and we're going to talk about it again at the next monthly meeting, and that is the West County Connectors Project. That's the Orange County Transportation Authority's project that I believe is going to have a significant impact on this area. So we're going to watch that very closely. I'm going to monitor it. We're going to have a walkthrough with the staff to make sure everybody's on it. Everybody knows what they're going to do. When that project first came up, Orange County Transportation Authority said, hey, don't worry, Long Beach, nothing's going to happen to you guys. You guys will be fine. Well, come on, they're tearing down the big bridge that lifts over the 405. You know where the traffic's going to go. My fear is off Palo Verde and other spots. So I kind of slammed them in the press, and they ended up coughing up $1.5 million, which is good. And we're going to use that for enforcement and infrastructure enhancement as problems pop up. So we're going to have guys on motors out there. We're going to be watching that closely, and we'll do what we can. So we'll watch that again very closely. And watch for that. I think that's the end of March, Armando. When's that going to fire up?
It's been pushed back to the end of March.
I'm sorry?
It's been pushed back to the end of March.
Okay, push back. So you expect it'll be pushed back another month, probably, right? By the time.
Could be, yes.
But yeah.